evening, everyone. Welcome to America's Third Party. I'm happy to say that this show is ongoing every day despite all the challenges. If you want to find us at Twitter, at Third Party is the way to go. We are always available. We are currently broadcasting at Periscope, Vaughn, iVlog, and DLive, the new network, dlive.tv/Third Party. I'm David Sponheim, as you know, and I'm not Joe Biden.
Oh, what do I do?
We know he's having some problems with his words, and we know that he's not exactly 100%. We know that. And I think it's important to say that unlike Joe Biden and unlike Donald Trump, I'm the only person who's willing to tell the American people this year, and all years, forever, I will never force vaccinate you, and I will never force COVID test any of you. None of the agencies in America will do this to you forcefully. This is the biggest stopgap we can present against a New World Order takeover. Because believe me, they want to use the COVID testing and all the rigors of that to push their agenda. I have a very simple plan. It's the people left alone will prosper. This is what I believe in. And I don't think that I'm wrong. I think I'm correct. There's been an evil force that's dominating America right now that is trying to push an agenda that I'm not going to mince words here. It's downright Luciferian. Let me show you an example of this. This was picked up and sent to me by Scissor Fight. Maddie D for Truth made a picture of this evil goat-like thing, Bathomos or whatever it is the name is. And guess where it's located? It's going to blow your mind. It's located, this image is located on trucks that are going to be COVID mobile testing facilities for COVID-19. Look at the logo right on the truck here. Let me pause it for you. Look at it. Look at this logo. I'll blow it up for you to look at. This is going to be on the trucks that they're building right now. Now, you know I'm the guy who came up with the mobile medical unit idea. Trump acted like it was his idea to use mobile medical units for our healthcare system, never did. And then Gavin Newsom said, oh, no, that's my idea, he said. And now he's pushing these COVID-19 units across the country along with others. This is their agenda. Yes, Scissor Fight can mod anytime he wants, anywhere he wants, in this room or the next. So if you are freaked out like I am, and I'm freaked out by this, thank you, Scissor Fight, for showing it to me, by the way. You're probably just as freaked out about all these people that are Antifa supporters that are not getting paid by George Soros. Yeah, George Soros is behind all the recent riots. So is Warren Buffett, and so is Bill Gates, who own 80% interest in the Acme Brick Company. That's how all these riots started. The Acme Brick Company. Seriously. And I'm sorry to say, Donald Trump has not investigated any of these things. Not one single iota of the Acme Brick Company has been looked into. In fact, Snopes did some fake story where they said that there were jobs that every one of these bricks were for. And you can read Snopes about the Acme Brick Company. Oh yeah, there were jobs. Everyone was slated to have jobs with those bricks. There isn't one photograph that I posted on my 153 video about government plans, civil unrest, it's called. There's not one photograph of a work order for Acme Bricks to be dropped off in all the cities. So someone is behind this. Turns out Acme Brick is owned, like I said, by Berkshire Hathaway, George Soros, Warren Buffett, and Bill Gates. Yeah. And now the people who are out there who are protesting and designed to, cause problems because they're Antifa members who've been getting money from Soros are complaining they're not getting any money at all. Check this out. Okay, we have a question for the link. Here's the link, you guys. This will freak out everybody in your personal life. You're welcome. Vigilante Skeptic says, thank you for making it easier for us. You're welcome. Now I'm going to start my Twitch network. I'm not going to Twitch. No. Okay. Yeah, well, you're doing the right thing, right? Abraham and Turkey Sandwich Lincoln. You're an interesting character, Vashon. Okay, we're starting up the Twitch broadcast. We have had some censorship issues at Twitch. I'm in ASMR today, just to see what happens. I'm really not sure if it's going to make a big difference, but I am shadow banned and banned at Twitch. We know that. The name of the site is Cool Rock Party. And as you probably know, I have a website set up called coolrock.com that is a central hub for all of you to find our chat rooms. And I'm probably going to add the chat room button for Twitch coming up soon. But in the meantime, I will show you what we've got over at Cool Rock. If you want to watch 35,000 hours of broadcasting, I've got a channel, a YouTube channel that goes back to 1962. No, actually, it goes back to 2008. And it is up here at the top left. You can see it right there. If you click that one, that's the YouTube channel. It takes you to all of our shows. This is the Web Oasis button at the top right. Really cool site. If you haven't done coolrock.com, it'll offer this link on the right. Web Oasis is a great free site which offers the coolest games. If you use the drop-down menu on the left, you can pull down that arcade, and it'll open up a whole slew of fun games. I play virtual chess on this unit because it's fairly good, and it gives me instant access to an intelligence profile which can beat me in chess, or it thinks it can beat me in chess. But yeah, there's other things too, like slot machines, race car driving, Walking Dead scene, all kinds of things. But anyway, back to Cool Rock. You got our Twitter feed here. This is my most recent tweet feed. I was right in that car. This was just about 40 minutes ago. Literally caught without the internet today. Here I was. Huh. Not sure. I'm not really sure why it's not coming in. Oh, maybe they're muting me. I don't know. It's possible I was censored over there. I don't know. It seems like the mic was off. That's really weird. I'll have to look into that. It didn't even record it. Well, it probably is working now. I can tell you that. Okay, moving on. I've noticed that some of my videos are being muted across the board. These are just great buttons. There's a button here to get hungry. Click the Foods Worldwide button. And you'll find food from all around the world. Today I was going to make, yeah, I don't think they'll have this in the lineup. I was going to make Snackmaster. I don't think there's anything there. Sorry, we don't have any Snackmaster. It's from 1975. I had a Snackmaster machine that made barbecue sandwiches. So I was going to make barbecue sandwiches today, but if you're really hungry and you want to get hungry, click on barbecue sandwich and it comes from every area of the world. Let's try barbecue. Look at that, most popular. Barbecue, churrasco, parrilla. Oh, nice. So this just gives you a tour of all the different foods around the world. Anyway, there's a button in the middle that I think is the best button. It's called Flipboard Links. That'll take you to the Flipboard Link button, which is a powerful button. 38 magazines, all of which are relevant to what's going on today. If you're an intellectual and you really like to dig deep into the news, you're not going to find a more edgy, cutting-edge library as this library. You click on the 38 magazines, and we got police brutality issues, current issues, cannabis, Gates, the Epstein case. We got that down here. Epstein's been seen alive, by the way. All about vaccines and Dr. Fauci's plan to profit from the vaccine industry, along with Bill Gates. Oh, yeah, all that. So that's a great button. Down below is some music you can play. It's a musical board that Misanthropy recommended to me, and we put it in there. It's a free board that you can just start generating fun stuff, you know.
Let's fly away. Let's fly away. Taking my time, taking your time so slow.
And if you don't like that, just X out of the screen. Now, everything on this page is movable at Coolrock. So this technology, believe it or not, is not new. It's old. It's about 10-year-old technology, and it was developed by a man named Steve Rapidi, where you can adjust your page any way you want. So if you want to move a few things around, you can adjust your page. This is yours to play with. And anytime you want to get it right back to where it was, hit the refresh button on your browser. That little circle, that half circle. Okay, let's see what he really said. Oh, that's so true. George Washington, I believe he did say that. Remember, our forefathers truly believed in what we're doing as a nation and really separated from England because freedom of speech was being denied by our English masters. And you can see that George Washington really did believe in it. If freedom of speech is taken away, then dumb and silent, we may be led like sheep to the slaughter. So bear in mind, this is one of the most important messages of a great leader. Yeah, George Washington. We wouldn't have had this country without his incredible intelligence and leadership ability. Many of you don't know that George Washington, fought many battles and was a general in the English brigades before he became our leader. And I can't even hold a mustard to him here. Let's see if I can get close. There you go. Yes. If freedom of speech is taken away, then dumb and silent, we may be led like sheep to the slaughter. All right. Thank you. In reverse. Now, when you hang out here at Coolrock, and you want to watch the show live, we can do this up until the end of the year when Flash will be replaced. You can also check the news down here in case you want to follow current events. And the good thing about this news site, which we found out, allsides.com, gives you literally news from allsides.com. Trump nixes the plan for the GOP convention in Jacksonville. Many other stories. Federal police have called on to curb Portland unrest. I think that was a big mistake by Trump. I think he should never have been forced to bring. In fact, the Portland leaders were saying, we handle this. There wasn't one person who actually had been killed prior in Portland. Yet Trump is bringing in the federal SS force, or the Gestapo agents that he calls, his federal force. All of this is very bizarre. He could have used the National Guard, but he didn't. So. It's unfortunate. Rand Paul calls for Cuomo to be impeached over coronavirus response. Good. I'm glad that Rand Paul said something, because Cuomo was acting really bad, not wanting to investigate this. Hey, let me check this real quick. We're having
Senator Rand Paul called Wednesday for the impeachment of New York Governor Andrew Cuomo over his handling of the state's coronavirus outbreak.
That guy is so boring. All right. Thank you for that link. Let's take a look at the Hill. I don't know how these people get their jobs. Listen to his read on this thing. It's like, dude, you're doing a voiceover. Give it some purpose.
Senator Rand Paul called Wednesday for the impeachment of New York Governor Andrew Cuomo over his handling of the state's coronavirus outbreak, saying the people we are lauding are actually making catastrophic decisions. I think Governor Cuomo should be impeached for the disastrous decision he made to send patients with coronavirus back to nursing homes. Virtually half his people who died were in nursing homes, Paul said on Fox News' Rundown Morning podcast. Earlier in the show, Paul called into question the pandemic lockdown imposed in New York in March, referencing a surge of cases across the state despite the shelter-in-place orders.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you for that, and thank you, Insane Canadian, for the link. That's great. I have 3 links I'm going to show you from Insane Canadian over at DLive. Thank you very much. And you guys over at Twitch, I don't know if you know it. This is ASMR I'm not exactly giving you the full treatment, though. Yeah, so you'll have to just excuse the lack of ASMR here. Trump is dumb and stupid. We would have saved like 100,000 lives if we reacted faster. Well, Joe, you're kind of right in a way. I mean, you know that Donald Trump kept bringing people into the country on flights, even though he said he stopped all flights. So in a way, I mean, that's so true. He said he stopped all flights, but we kept tracking them on Flight Radar 24. And it was kind of amazing. All these people were coming in from China and Asia. So if they wanted to spike this, they really picked a good choice to do that. Donald Trump did that. And you're right, he should have acted better. You know, for years, I've been promoting the use of masks at the CDC. I'm the mask guy. For years, I'd put on the show that you've got to wear this N95 mask. And we even said that when I become president, I will give people free ones. And then you can have reorder slips in the mail that you just pop in the mail, and the government makes a little money on the reorder, but it keeps the thing rolling. So I've been promoting masks for a decade at least. And it's kind of ironic we didn't really have the preparation we needed to at the right time. So good point. What do you need a link of? You want the link of the bizarre images that we saw? This COVID-19 link is powerful. If you haven't seen this, guys, check it out. It's the image of Baphomet, the Luciferian deity, on all of the trucks, the COVID trucks, that are going to be delivering forced COVID testing around the country. These New World Order people worship Lucifer, and I'm not making that up. So I'm getting very serious about this because I think you have to understand we're dealing with a very big crisis. This is not some easy thing to deal with. I don't know. Hey, Don, I don't think my mask would stop the smoke per se, just a lot of the particulates mostly, but you definitely stop diesel. So if you're walking around the store with my mask, my KN95 that I bought, I believe that they are good masks, but the government says they aren't. So they're cheaper online, and I'm recommending people get them because they work. There's no holes in them. It looks like when you hold them up in the light, they look like there's holes in them. I'll show you that later when I bring the mask out for you to look at. But it looks like there's holes in them, but there's no holes in them. So it's like an optical illusion. It's almost like somebody at the health department said, "Oh yeah, there's holes in them. We can't use these." Something like that. So Rand Paul is asking for Cuomo's removal. That's really good. That's what I've been concerned about. Cuomo has signed. He essentially made it impossible to prosecute anybody in and around New York. So if Rand's saying something, I think that's great. Yeah, smell is slightly different than particles. But remember, for our nose to receive something like a smell, we must be receiving some particles of some sort. It's not a magic smell that comes through the air like radiation. I smell radiation. Yeah, Steve, so you're having some problem. You can't wear a mask. It's against your religion. So he doesn't allow it in any shops from where he's living. Yeah, good idea. Maybe get somebody homeless to wear a mask and go in and shop for you, since you're unwilling to wear a mask due to your religious beliefs. I hear you, Steve-O. A lot of you are anti-mask people. I've got Scissor Fight. I don't think he wears masks. I've always said that the masks are really for protecting your lungs against particulates. And I've been the one talking about the dangers of the aerial spraying that's been going on in our country for some time. Yeah, we can't ignore the fact that they've been spraying countless years. It's beyond belief, actually. For over 30 years, they've been spraying in the skies above us. What exactly are they spraying? Well, Dave, they're spraying barium, aluminum. Rand, do you mind moving here? Thanks. They're spraying silver iodide. They're spraying very dangerous toxic chemicals. Fiberglass chard. They found that, fiberglass chard. They've done autopsies on people who died of emphysema, and they find little nanoparticles, strands of fiberglass and nanoparticles in their lungs. So I wear a mask to protect my lungs. And I've been wearing masks for years Even though I smoke marijuana on occasion, I know I'm getting bad resin if I smoke it. So I actually vape when I can. But the resin itself is not as bad as the 50,000 chemicals in the air above us. So we're breathing a mix of bad stuff. Marijuana is the least of your worries. Even cigarette smoke is definitely bad, but this is really bad. And the fact that our government doesn't want to deal with that reality, and the Democrats won't talk about it. Oh, you're a whack job, they say. When in reality, they're starting to talk about, well, maybe we should spray stratospheric aerosol injection so that we could keep the planet cooler. They call those chemtrails. Chemtrails are ostensibly attempts at weather modification. So, meanwhile, back to the coronavirus. Let's focus on that. And let's not forget, defunding the police is a high priority to get them to stop being brutal toward men, women, black, white, Hispanic, Asian. We've got to deal with that crisis, and I have a plan, being I'm the guy who came up with the defunding plan. To be simple, the technology out there that we're using when we pull people over is pretty high end. We are also dealing with the fact that 1,000 people have died of stun guns since their inception 20 years ago. Okay, chemtrails gave you herpes. I wouldn't doubt that, Joe. Yeah, French kissing that toilet bowl can't be good for you, but seriously, chemtrails. Why not? They could put viruses in the chemtrails. They could even be spraying us with COVID-19. We wouldn't even know it. You're back. Zenetrun was sentenced to 5 days in county jail. What happened, man? Did you get really drunk? And because we were wondering where you were. You normally troll us every day. So what happened? You want to talk about it? Zenutron? Yeah, well, I'm sure I can't send help to Joe, but Joe, apply some antibiotics and, take a pill. Okay, you got a link for me? Okay, thanks. Cal Worthington and his dog Spot has a link too. If you want to go see Cal, go see Cal. If you want to buy a car, go see Cal. Glendale approved up to $2,000 fine for those not wearing face masks in public. Oh my goodness. And the Whitney Webb story. Okay, we got a really good background link on the guy who allegedly killed Judge Salas's son, 20-year-old son. You know that the Judge Salas is handling the Epstein case out of Deutsche Bank. Okay, Dissident Mag has the story. Thank you very much, Misanthropy. Yeah, this is more important than the other story, but the other story about Glendale charging a $2,000 fine for not wearing a face mask. It's illegal to violate a person's freedom of speech, their right to their own expression, and in this case, the right to breathe air. They're going to face some backlash, Glendale will. I'm sure there are people in Glendale that have money to sue them. In fact, I know that there are. Okay, so here's the story. The news of the shooting of the husband and son of Esther Salas, the judge recently assigned to oversee the Jeffrey Epstein Deutsche Bank case, caused shock and confusion while also bringing renewed scrutiny to the Epstein scandal just a week after Epstein, main conspirator, Ghislaine Maxwell, was denied bail in a separate case. The case Salas is set to oversee is a class action lawsuit brought by Deutsche Bank investors who allege that Deutsche Bank failed to properly monitor customers that the bank itself deemed to be high risk, including, and among others, the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, who was banking with Deutsche Bank. The case came after the New York State Department of Financial Services had settled with Deutsche Bank over the bank's failure to cut ties with Epstein linked accounts, resulting in the Deutsche Bank paying a $150 million fine. Deutsche Bank, unlike other financial institutions, failed to close all its accounts linked to Epstein until less than a month prior to his arrest last year, even though the bank had identified him as a high risk years before. Beyond the tragedy of Sunday's shooting, which claimed the life of Salas's only child, the quick discovery of the death of the main suspect, Roy Den Hollander, of a self-inflicted gunshot to the head before he could be arrested or questioned by authorities has led to speculation that there is more to the official narrative of the crime than meets the eye. This is where it gets interesting. Now, on a side note, this man was fighting for male rights against females and feminists. On a side note, they claimed they had found him because he had used a FedEx truck, and that there'd been a similar crime a month earlier against another judge, another attorney who was apparently doing the same thing he was, fighting feminists. So it's kind of odd that his MO would be to shoot another man who's doing the same thing he is. That makes me think that it's one likely case is they're trying to get rid of two birds with one stone. Killing these two guys, the alleged victim of a previous victim a month ago when he's allegedly used a FedEx truck, and this guy himself, who is also kind of a stick in the mud in terms of a legal problem for a lot of these pro-feminist liberals that are out there right now. Not a lot of people are fighting for male rights, and ironically, this guy was doing that, the alleged shooter. Den Hollander's motive was related to his dislike of feminism. It appears that there are efforts underway to distance Sunday's tragic shooting from Salas's recent assignment to the Epstein case, which occurred just 4 days before the tragic shooting. Yeah, so Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell denied bail. The shooting happens 4 days later. We don't know if that's a connection. And I don't even know if Ghislaine Maxwell is in custody, frankly. I don't know. There's still no mugshot of her at all, which is very suspicious. I've never heard of anyone not having a mugshot when they get arrested. 1973 said, is Morgellons disease from chemtrails? The answer is yes. According to people like Joni Mitchell, who claim she has Morgellons disease, it is a direct relationship. There have been people that have taken these nanofibers and looked up close up in a really strong microscope. They apparently are forming on the outside of people's skin. That's a really weird theory, but Morgellons disease is a hypothetical syndrome that not even doctors are willing to examine. The symptoms of the disease are lesions that appear on the outside of your skin, but we don't know. I mean, this is crazy, yeah. And we've been aware of it for a long time, but the government refuses to acknowledge the existence of chemtrails. You want to give me a break or no? Oh, you're no, you're good. You're looking for something. Oh, your phone? I'm sorry.
I think it's in my...
Oh, okay. Well, the judge's son was killed. Will the judge survive the trial? That Maxwell lady is more connected than the judge and the jury and probably everyone in that courthouse. Game over before it starts, really. Yeah, that's why I don't believe that Ghislaine Maxwell is in custody. They can't produce a picture of her. Okay. Now, with law enforcement agencies now saying that Esther Salas was not the intended target of the attack, and some media reports now suggesting that Den Hollander's motive was related to the dislike of feminism, it appears there are efforts underway to distance Sunday's traffic shooting from Salas's recent assignment to the Epstein case. So I think reading that again gives me a kind of a clear understanding that the government wants to misdirect us in every way. Like, this guy didn't even want to go after the judge. Excuse me, but this woman is very important, and her losing her son is bound to affect her. My goodness, I'm so sorry for your loss, man. Seriously. I know. The orange stable genius of Donald Trump seems to be the most braggartly president we've ever had. The most likely reason for any such damage control effort lies in the fact that both U.S. law enforcement agencies and investigations and mainstream media reports have consistently downplayed the connection of Jeffrey Epstein's sexual trafficking and financial crimes to intelligence agencies in the U.S. and Israel. Similarly, Roy Den Hollander's previously worked for a New York firm has been described as a private CIA with ties to those countries' intelligence agencies and also ties to Deutsche Bank. So Roy Den Hollander has actually worked indirectly for Deutsche Bank. I mean, that wasn't mentioned in the mainstream media. You go to dissidentmag.com and that's what you find. According to his website, Den Hollander once worked for Kroll Associates' Moscow office, where he managed and upgraded Kroll's delivery of intelligence and security in the former Soviet Union from 1999 to 2000. A few years prior, Kroll had won a considerable bid from the Russian government to locate money allegedly spirited out of the country by the directors of state enterprises when they realized the privatization was inevitable. In other words, a lot of government operations running in Russia are running through private oligarchs, like Paul Manafort, the guy who was the campaign chairman for Donald Trump. Seriously, so Russia works through these oligarchs and they embrace this privatization plan as part of their control of other countries. So this is very interesting. It's like a private CIA agent doing a hit. Okay, founded by Jules Kroll in 1972, Kroll Associates would later become known as the CIA of Wall Street and Wall Street's private eye, and was alleged to be actual front for the CIA by French intelligence agencies. This organization that this guy worked for, the Hollander guy. So this is a serious allegation that Deutsche Bank is being inadvertently named in this because they did work with this Kroll agency and they wanted to end this terrible attack on their company because they believe that $150 million settlement should be enough. I listened to the CEO of Deutsche Bank the other day. Nice German man. He seemed very eloquent. And he said that this was something that had been an anomaly in their company and blah, blah, blah. But the reality is, the guy that originally handled Donald Trump's personal finances at Deutsche Bank, because Donald Trump has a $1 billion stake loan with Deutsche Bank, that man died in Malibu a year and a half ago. I'm not reading to you, I'm just telling you. That guy from Malibu, he was living in Malibu, he's like 55 years old. He died. The guy who first handled Donald Trump's entire account at Deutsche Bank. That's weird too. A suicide. Now, they claim that, the Hollander had a deadly issue. He conveniently was suffering from cancer. We don't have a lot of evidence of that. What is evident is that Hollander was a retired CIA operative working as a contracted agent and reaching the end of his career. That much we do know. So let's take a look at what his face looks like. They said he was a quirky attorney, Roy Den Hollander, men's right advocate, blah, blah, blah. Allegedly killed another men's right advocate. Why? We don't know. Doesn't make any sense. But this case pins him as the murderer of this innocent boy, young man, young man, the son of the judge. And here's the whole family and what they're going through right here. Their whole life has been turned upside down by this. And if he indeed is the perpetrator, but that's the thing, there's still not a lot of evidence pointing him to the FedEx truck. The CIA can't connect the dots, and there isn't a lot of investigation going on. It's like they wrap the case up and let's put it away. We're done. He died. Next. Meanwhile, she must be frightened to death, having lost her beautiful son. Tragic loss of life. She's now the key judge dealing with the very, very important issue of Jeffrey Epstein's funny money and all of the strange things happening with that money. We do know that Jeffrey Epstein's assets of $739 million were acquired by his brother Mark in the will, but they're in trust, and there's been a draw of $100 million on those assets. Maybe Deutsche Bank's involved. That's probably why there's a lot of concern that this is an inside job pointing the finger at Roy Den Hollander. So that's my guess, is that there could be a mob background to this. And when I say mob, I mean CIA level. Remember, the CIA has been working collaterally with forces in the New World Order for some time. Same with the FBI. So our government's already been compromised. What they don't really have control over is the message to you. Many of you are wondering why there is police brutality, and many of you are protesting and thinking that Black Lives Matter is going to help. Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization. They're not going to stop brutality. They're only going to create more violence. They're paid by George Soros to do that, and they're getting money from the Muslim Brotherhood. Don't kid yourself. Black Lives Matter, they don't even talk about black-on-black violence. So, Jorn Starr says, I live in Austria, and we reeked very fast. So now we have only 160 COVID infections. Okay. And also, when Trump stole the thousands off the masks from Italy, from China, is a thing that was not really good for his image. You know, I did not know, Jorn Starr, that Trump stole masks from Italy and from China. I didn't even hear about that. See, we're not even getting that information. You say in Germany, Austria, Italy, and other countries here in EU, we think that Trump is a stupid person. We think that if he gets president again, Americans are stupid. And I totally agree with you, Jorn. Yeah. And I've seen the same problem in America. The Americans seem to be kind of stupid. I'm sorry to say. Well, for whatever reason, we're stupid. We seem to be stupid. I'm one of the smartest guys out there, and I can tell you, my life has been difficult because I was never given support. Like you get a free college education in Germany. I was never given anything like that. I was the #1 student in my high school class. So I was victimized by being white in my country. So if they're trying to keep the smart guys down, they're doing a pretty good job of it, but it's not stopping me. But thank you for your understanding of the situation. I think you're spot on. I do. I'm not just... Okay, we got body cam footage of Buena Park police officers shooting David Patrick Sullivan. This is horrible. Another case of police violence unchecked by Barack Obama during his time and now Donald Trump. No effort by Barack Obama or Donald Trump to really mitigate this police violence and brutality. 1,000 people a year in America die by cop. Half of them are unarmed. 1/4 of them are mentally disabled or have some disability of some sort.
3 to 702. Step out of the Malvern and Gilbert. Step out of the car. Step out of the car! Get 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 out of the car! Man, my son is shot fired! Shot fired! Get out of the car! Get to the ground! We're gonna be on Gilbert and more. Gilbert and more. 555. Gilbert.
Wow, that was one violent scene. Holy moly. It looks like that guy just wanted to run. Like he wanted to bolt. Okay, I'll play the whole scene for you later tonight. I was really sorry that you had to see that, but it's the truth. This is the kind of violence we're talking about that is not being checked by the Democrats or Republicans. And BLM doesn't even have a plan like we do. Anyways, let me tell you what I want to do with the desensitization program. Basically, sensitivity is what we're looking for. We're trying to find cops that are personable, so we'll be giving them personality exams to weed them out. And the ones that don't qualify, we'll still keep their jobs when we can. I know, it'd be terrible to be a cop in America right now. I understand the Seattle police is paying $400,000 a year just to get people to sign up. Can you imagine working for $400,000 a year as a cop? And they're running out of money, so it makes no sense. You got one next? Okay. You got something, Cal Worthington? Let's take a look. Okay. Well, anyway, the personality exam is the first stage. We'd give them a 4-day training course involving live shooting with individuals that are either armed or reaching in their pocket. And I'm not talking about real people. I'm talking about the kind of cardboard shooting exercises they give the FBI with, things flopping up. Yeah. And if a person can pass that, they can still we'll retain them on the force. If they can't pass the sensitivity training shooting session, now the shooting session will be shoot to kill if they're showing a weapon. Shoot to maim if they're reaching in their pocket. Because you've already told them, you police officers have already told them to put your hands up. And if they don't oblige by that, that'll be your first thing. Not put your hands behind your back, that's later. Put your hands up. Get them to be compliant. If they don't put their hands up, then you've got to assume they've got some sort of a weapon, but don't shoot to kill at that point, shoot to maim. So you shoot their legs or their arms. Now that's going to save a lot of lives right there, and what you saw just now would never have happened if we've got a runner. You don't shoot him with a gun, you shoot him, and he didn't present a gun at all. That guy just ran from the car. He couldn't understand why he's being harassed. He had a flight response, fight or flight response. He went with flight. Okay, a lot of people are under a direct attack by cops bothering them on the highway. Maybe they're not wearing a mask. I don't know. Whatever. That shouldn't be legal either. Okay. The fact of the matter is, I don't believe everything I hear. I really measure everything I hear against critical remarks about what's coming at me. I'm a level 10 on critical thinking. Oh, he stole the car? That's the background information? Okay, you got a car thief who's unarmed, running away from the scene of a crime. You use your tasers. You shoot his leg. If you hit the femoral artery above the in the groin area, yeah, he's over. He's dead. But if you hit their leg below the groin area, you can bind that wound and buy him a couple hours. I don't know what your problem is. And anybody getting to that person right there could bind the wound rather quickly with a belt. I mean, hello. But no, if you can't measure all the information you're gathering against a barometer of accuracy, our biggest problem that we've had with a lot of the shootings in the past 10 years, about 50 shootings, has been a lack of evidence. That's our biggest problem. Not a preponderance of evidence, but a lack of evidence. That's a classic case of something's wrong here. So when we take on conspiracy theories, it's mostly because there's a lack of evidence. That's mostly the reason. And we always measure any conspiracy theory with the bottom line, which is this an attempt to enslave or depopulate the population? Because that's really at the backbone of almost every single conspiracy theory. But lack of evidence is the number one thing that is common today. When you look at conspiracy theories, that's the critical thinking that I apply. Seeing lack of evidence immediately makes me think something's wrong. Okay, now a judge has ruled that it's extremely personal, the records from 2015 Ghislaine Maxwell case, and they can be unsealed, including Jeffrey Epstein's flight logs. Well, considering we're dealing with child rape and trafficking, I think it's extremely important we look at them. Maxwell's attorneys attempted to keep the documents secret because her deposition contained intrusive questions about her sex life. Like she's a pedophile, allegedly? Is that intrusive? Yeah, exactly. So we need to find out more about what's going on here. An extensive collection of extremely personal documents from a civil case against longtime Jeffrey Epstein's associate Ghislaine Maxwell can be unsealed. Whoop-de-doo. Large portions of more than 80 documents from a 2015 civil lawsuit against Maxwell could be released, according to Reuters. Now, there were documents are from the Epstein's accuser, Virginia Roberts Giuffre, civil case against Maxwell that was initiated in 2015. One judge had told the attorney for Virginia Roberts Giuffre to get rid of all those documents, and the attorney said, why? Finally, a judge is saying, no, they're pertinent to her case, which I seriously doubt she's in jail. But whatever. All right, Rand Paul calling out Cuomo for to be impeached over the coronavirus response. I absolutely agree with Rand Paul on this. Cuomo did not want to investigate any of the deaths in the state of New York, and he openly stated that. That is a felony. You cannot openly state you're not going to investigate any deaths in the state of New York over the past 3 years in nursing homes. Andrew Cuomo committed a felony on camera. We have proof of it. It's kind of a slam dunk case. It wouldn't take long to put him in jail for 5 years. Aiding and abetting felonies. All right. Good job, Rand Paul. Thank you for speaking up. Any truth to the theory that the Chinese government attacked the West Coast internet tonight, or is that just some rumor somebody came up with? Does anybody have any info on that? Because we were shut down flat out. We struggled to get back on. I had to go down to a local store and broadcast from a remote broadcast. It was weird. Yeah. Yeah, well, the thing is, I don't think cops should be trigger happy when they face life and death situations, because they shouldn't have to face life and death situations. Most of the cops are pulling people over for traffic stops. Well, that automatically puts them at risk. I mean, there are Democratic governors right now in the state of Washington and the state of Maine, all across the country, that are telling their local police department that they have to pull people over who aren't wearing a mask or who aren't doing an essential shop to the market. Seriously, the Democratic governor from Maine wants all the cops to pull people over. And one sheriff in Franklin County, Maine, and also, ironically, in Franklin County, Washington, another sheriff on the West Coast and the East Coast, both said, no, we're not going to pull people over for not wearing a mask. No way. It puts them at risk. The whole mask requirement is ridiculous, and it's a violation of our First Amendment, as well as our personal privacy and what we have personally on our body. They can't test you with a mask on, say, to keep you from spreading a disease. It's illegal. And technically, they're having everybody, even people uninfected, wearing a mask. That's absurd. It's not even scientific. Well, these cops are disagreeing, and I know most cops are disagreeing with these Democratic governors, and I applaud these cops. Good job. Yeah, well, they're not the same people. Al Franken and Rand Paul are not the same people. What does that have to do with anything? Al Franken admitted to having some weird moment with a woman on camera. What has Rand Paul done? Rand Paul got beat up by his neighbor, nearly killed. I don't see the comparison. My goodness. Rand Paul's lucky to be alive. Anyway, I applaud the police that are standing up to the governors who are not getting the direction from the president. The president of the United States should tell all the governors that are trying to do this, you're fired. Literally. We need to arrest a couple of governors in America. We've got, like my governor in my state, implemented laws that you can't possibly do. They're a violation of the Nuremberg Code. They're a violation of the HIPAA laws. You can't ask a person, okay, are you willing to take a test? If not, I'm going to send you to quarantine and charge you $2,000 a day for 14 days. That's what our governor is trying to say. Consent laws, there should be no penalty for not consenting. In the state of Washington, if you don't consent to a breathalyzer test, this is how they phrase you when they pull you over. Hi, you have a voluntary breathalyzer test. If you don't, would you like to consent to that? If you say no, they say, okay, get out of the car. We're arresting you and taking you out of the hospital for a blood test. You can't say, oh, okay, I'll take a breathalyzer. Too late. We're going down. You made the mistake of not consenting. You're going down to the blood test. We're going to impound your vehicle. It'll cost you $500 minimum if you test out negative. What kind of a state would do that? The Nazi communist state of Washington. So now they've got a governor implementing laws that are completely in violation of the Constitution. But our president won't even talk to these governors directly. He won't even issue an order. I would have arrested Jay Inslee, Gavin Newsom, and Governor Whitmer in Michigan. All three of those people would have been under house arrest by the National Guard, and I would have said, you are not allowed to operate. We will give authority over to the lieutenant governor until you understand the Constitution. Now, I don't know where you're coming from if you think it's perfectly okay to arrest somebody for not wearing a mask when they just released 67,000 prisoners out of our jails that are hardened criminals. What the hell's going on with this government? Unbelievable. That's a good article that you gave me, Misanthropy. I was looking for more dirt on this story, and you gave it to me. I appreciate that. Drunk drivers tend to refuse a breath test. Well, is that so? It's incriminating. I thought people were innocent until proven guilty. Anyway, I don't believe that we should be bothering people on the highway. I don't believe we should be bothering people on the highway for going faster than the speed limit. If somebody is presenting reckless driving, looking like they're drunk, I understand we should pull them over. We should do the whole thing. But I've got a better solution. This is how I would handle it. Instead of actually arresting him like they arrested this Rayshard Brooks, or tried to, and he ran, allegedly, even though there's no evidence that he was shot in the back, there's no muzzle flashes. I think they should just have taken him to his house. This is Sarah's idea, actually. I think Rayshard Brooks could have literally been taken to his house and dropped off and said, "Okay, here's your husband." Yeah, that's the same price I paid for an external hard drive over at Costco about a year ago, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, 8 terabyte external hard drive, 119. That's the same price Costco had a year ago. So not bothering people going 5 miles an hour with the speed limit will lower the amount of risk a lot of these people are getting, these police officers, in the middle of a traffic stop. Now, if they pull over a drunk driver, a cop should be allowed to carry his weapon outside, literally in his hand, with his finger on the safety. That's how a cop should be approaching any car. But right now, cops can't even approach a car with their gun drawn. So there's all these disturbing protocols that are currently going on with cops that are putting them at risk and the drivers at risk who freak out, like that guy just did who had stolen a car. So you got $5 off. That's special. Okay, Sarah's going to give me you got a little story on outages? Okay, let's take a look. We just had a big outage in our area. Somebody said it could have been the Chinese retaliating for Trump and what he's doing. We are looking at 37 outages in 24 locations worldwide. So the internet is kind of bogged down right now. Thanks for that link, Cranky Beans. All right. Okay, so we have a non-stop discussion of politics tonight, but McFusler has a video on the education system. That might be of interest to Sarah. Follow the money. The public school system. Okay. And that's a 15-minute video. I'll play that tonight. Thanks, McFusler. All right. Now it's time for the online educator to give you her opinion. Sarah is an expert at online education and has a master's degree in it. Is that right?
I guess so.
You sure do. She's an expert in the subject.
Technology, yeah.
And I will be back with a recorded broadcast in a little bit. If you want to watch the full show, you can watch our Twitch show on Twitch. Or no, our Periscope show on Twitter. Thank you. Okay, we got some Twitch people. Hi, everybody. Somebody says, do you read comments? Yeah, I do. If Biden wins in November, this country will go to hell. I know. I don't, I'll be frank. I did like Biden a long time ago among all the Democrats because I was a blue dog Democrat on the right wing of the Democratic Party. Certainly not a leftist. And I saw the Democratic Party in 2007 become more and more left wing. And now it's like indistinguishable between the Democrats and the communists and the socialists. So I decided to start the centrist party because I believe that we could unite in the center of the political spectrum. And this is our opportunity. People who dislike people on the left might realize that they're not that all bad. They're not bad, but they are bad so far that the Democrats have tried to take your rights to bear arms away. They want to tell you your free speech is supposed to be controlled. They want hate speech laws. That totally goes against our First Amendment. They want to tell you can't even sit on a park bench in Vermont, the Democrats, which is your right. Your right to travel, too, from state to state. All of this is being undermined by the Democrats who act like communists. But the Republicans never really appealed to me because they were so corporate. They so supported the structure of the monarchy and veritably the corporate oligarchy that controls our country. And that's why I didn't really vote Republican because of that. So centrism is clearly the way. As long as we uphold our Second Amendment and our First Amendment and our Fourth Amendment, right to privacy, our bodies are the most private thing. And I can't even imagine, Robin, how any one of us could be sitting there being injected with a needle against our will. Our body is our divine sanctuary. And I can sense that a lot of you feel the same way I do. They want to control our lives. Exactly. The Democrats want control, and the Republicans, they want money. They're so driven by money. And if we saw the monthly Treasury report last week, it was so horrible. It was last June. We literally, our economy is shutting down. and our expenditures are ramping up. I've never seen anything like it. It's the worst situation our country's ever been in. And we're in the midst of it. We've got bad leadership. So yeah, a third party is clearly the answer to this problem with a good leader like me. A person who can listen to both sides, hash out a compromise. Because I don't think we've had leaders like that. And I know Biden wouldn't be that kind of a person. Okay. We got Biden talking off the top of his head again. We're gonna listen to this. It is one-on-one casts. His dementia is starting to show really galloping dementia. We're going to see him. We talked about how he wanted to touch. He knows roaches, and now he likes the legs, his hair and his legs, to be brushed up and down by the children in the water. I mean, whatever. This is going to be a doozy, I'm sure. Oh yeah, Biden hates the Second Amendment, but with the dangers of the 5G network and the possible weaponization of the 5G network because we don't have any safety tests done on it, and because Biden and Trump won't talk about the dangers of the 5G network, your Second Amendment is under attack big time by both Trump and Biden. Biden wants to take it away completely, but start realizing that Trump isn't defending your Second Amendment by allowing a dangerous 5G network to be potentially weaponized by the people that are trying to control our country right now. That's a pretty stiff attack on our Bill of Rights. But let's listen to Mr. Biden babble on here.
And I had a nurse nurses at Walter Reed Hospital who would bend down and whisper in my ear. Wow. And go home and get me pillows. They would make sure they'd actually, probably nothing ever taught in, you can't do it in the COVID time, but they'd actually breathe in my nostrils to make me move, to get me moving. And I had a nurse at nurses at Walter Reed Hospital.
So see, he has kind of an odd way about him. He likes this really, I think he would be an ASMR fan over there at Twitch. Don't you think Biden would be great at Twitch? He could give you like his breathing thing and the nostril thing. That could be like an ASMR thing with him. Breathing with Biden. He has no idea what he's saying. Can you imagine if Trump screwed up that bad on live TV? He'd be getting blasted by the media, calling him stupid, can't speak. Exactly. Yeah. Well, Biden and Trump are both heading towards senility. It's inevitable. It's inevitable, Mr. Anderson. Like Mr. Smith talking to Mr. Anderson on The Matrix. And that's coming out next year, by the way. The Matrix 4. Mr. Anderson. That's right. Blasted by the media, calling him stupid. Let's move on and talk about whatever's on your mind. Let's just open the chat because I want to read Vaughn and everybody else, D-Live. You guys, I got 4 chat rooms I got to talk to. But thank you very much. Amazing. Thank you so much, Robert. Hey, Sister Fight's back. Hello. It is important to get the word out. We're in a tough time. Absolutely. I almost had it out of there. Now we have to figure out what we're going to do with our society now that it is seemingly collapsing under the two-party system. And what better way to look forward to a new future than a third party? A fresh new beginning. I know. It's like, what the heck was he talking about? Breathing into the nostrils. I know. But the possibilities of a brand new political movement in America's third party is also based on the simple fact that I'm human. I am not artificial intelligence, despite popular belief. Many people believe, David, you seem like a robot. Hardly. I am simply human. My primary mainframe operates under the stress load of 8 terabytes of RAM. Hey, no, seriously, I'm definitely not a robot. I'm not CGI. But we're entering that world where we don't know. We seriously don't know what the hell's going on. It's a scary world right now. Yeah. Our country is very likely going to be dealing with the 5G danger zone. Okay. All right. I'll unhush you. All right. Be nice. Samizdat, the Nightmare Circle article on the shrinkage of education in America since pandemic shutdown is a picture of what nearly a communist indoctrination policy does. Very good. I was very much like Max Headroom. Yeah, Robin. I actually did a skit at the Comedy Store, a one-day skit. It was an audition night. And I did a thing with another guy who thought he was funny. He went on to try to become a comedian, but he failed. The bottom line is I did the Max Headroom routine. And they remember it. Everyone remembered it. So there were about 100 people in the audience. And this was 1979. And I'm not sure if they modeled their views off of me because, man, I flipped gears like crazy. I wish I had a copy of that audition. I really do. It was like amateur night. It's great. But nobody approached me after the thing, so I just went on my merry way. I don't really like the feeling of onstage comedy. And now that COVID spacing is going on, I don't think anyone can afford to actually fart on stage, technically, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I think farting may be a violation soon. I'm just waiting for the Democrats to require butt plugs with monitors on them. I'm sure that's going to happen. Anyway, seriously. The reality is we are walking right into a nightmare. A dystopian nightmare, much predicted by people like George Orwell and Alvin Toffler, Aldous Huxley. I mean, the names of people who've talked about this future world really have never really understood the nature of the deep, dark beast within our government and within our monetary system. Their end game is depopulation because they've decided that the world is just getting too polluted, and it's the reason is people, the population. They keep saying that without ever fixing the environment, without ever trying to filter the water or the air that we breathe. These are the people that feel that it's okay to go ahead and just spray you like an insect every day of the year, as if you're some sort of a guinea pig. Experiencing chemtrails on a daily basis. And I'm not afraid to talk about chemtrails. In fact, I created a party, at least a website, called chemtrailparty.com. Yeah, so you're welcome to go check out chemtrailparty.com if you want. I never auditioned for that movie. No. I'm not an actor. I was attempting to be a stage comic, but it didn't work out for me because I didn't really feel that feeling of being half funny and pushing yourself all the way. It's like constantly getting that laugh. But chemtrailparty.com is a thing I just created a couple years ago that gives you the full detail of what chemtrails are and how they're affecting our brain, our mind, our body. So yes, I am America's third party, but we are also, I'm pitching all kinds of new ideas. And you can go to chemtrailparty.com and look at the information. It's pretty tragic to know that there's been no peer-reviewed studies about chemtrails and their safety. And there have been no analysis of the toxicity of this, except by the Italians, who did a pretty good job of it. But what we do know is that these are chemicals, heavy metals that are in the air that do a lot of things. The silver iodide collects rain, and they're able to make it rain in our area or your area. Similarly, they can dehydrate an area like California. They do that with barium and aluminum. They can actually seed an area with barium and aluminum that they can ignite with a directed energy weapon, a laser beam, if you will. And it's very likely that that may have happened in California, in that they had 300 fires start last year within a 24-hour period, and they never ever arrested one arsonist. The likelihood of that being an electrical fire due to PG&E is zero. Zero. There's no likelihood at all. So, we have to assume that they've lost the edge of wanting to research this, test it. So like the 5G network, chemtrails are not being discussed by our government. Simple logic tells you that blocks the oxygen needed for photosynthesis, which prevents oxygen from creating. It blocks the light that oxygen is produced from. In other words, the light is blocked. The plants take in carbon dioxide, which they need, which we produced with engines. It normally then produces oxygen, but with a light blocked, it doesn't produce oxygen, so we go with less oxygen with things blocking the sun. That doesn't make sense, does it? And they're trying to pin the weather changes on what is called, carbon pollution. The Democrats are, and Greta Thunberg is really pitching this idea that it's all our fault, the carbon that we produce. Well, plants need carbon. They absolutely have to have carbon. So what is really wrong with carbon? And not one study has performed proof that carbon can manipulate the atmosphere. But we do know that heavy metals in the sky, and barium and aluminum and strontium and selenium and silver iodide and nanoparticles can be used to create weather modification or even weather warfare. So this is something that the government won't even talk about, but is right under our nose, in our nose. The creation of droughts, hurricanes, earthquakes, totally possible with weather modification. So weather modification really is climate change. Don't let the Democrats think that it's a carbon coming out of your butt. You're not farting your way to chemicals in the air. It's not. Chemicals have been known to be manipulated with phased array radar. And this technology was developed by Tesla, Nikola Tesla, 110 years ago. It's completely absurd to think that carbon is the cause of our weather change right now. So they're doing it, and they're putting nanoparticles in the air that could even be smart dust all around the world. And that's not something we want, because we were never consulted. The American people and all the people of the world were never consulted on this issue at all. Whoever is doing this without our consent. Oh, they've got other things going on too. I'm sure they're going to bring on other things. Oh, this is just stage one of their big plan. It's unfortunate. They've got the digital spectrum 5G network ready to zap anybody on Earth, triangulate your location, and boom, you're done. 5G poles are going up all over the place. We're experiencing almost a 5G nightmare happening around us. So without any oversight, the most vulnerable are our kids, your kids, their ability to produce children. You having grandchildren, that's not going to happen if they get too near the 5G system. It fries their genetics. And we know that from top experts like Catherine Horton, a particle physicist that just told us that the 5G network could be weaponized. Yeah, we need to worry about these things. These are the things that we actually have to talk about on a daily basis. Sorry to say, guys, but yeah. I know it gets a little bit boring. Wayfair and Ghislaine Maxwell, there is a connection. We uncovered this. If you want to see that, we can talk about that too. Yeah, strange. He knows the director of operations at Wayfair is a close friend with Ghislaine Maxwell. So the Wayfair story is getting some popular discussion on the internet. It's not getting anywhere in the mainstream media at all. Okay, we got a couple
of weeks ago I made...
Okay, Cranky Beans. Okay, so there you go. You pulled up an article about what I was talking about and brought up a PG&E story. That's very good, Cranky. Thank you. So PG&E did not take responsibility for the California fires arson. They simply said there was an accident. So all across California, there were 300 electrical fires as accidents, they're claiming. And they exit bankruptcy probably with a higher rate for their employees. And remember, the PG&E is underwritten by the Rothschild family. They underwrote a lot of our public utilities. So the people who own the rights and overall liabilities are completely immune to liability. All those people that died in California, and there may be a lot more than we know of, will never get any restitution whatsoever. PG&E is going to walk from this with very little damages. They're ending their Chapter 11 bankruptcy last week. reorganizing. They funded a trust to compensate victims of the wildfires, which included $5.4 billion in cash. Well, that was nice. 22% of the company's ownership is doled out to cover this cost. The company likely expects that it's protected from future liability. Michael Sweet, bankruptcy attorney and partner at Fox Rothschild, told Utility Dive, but I'm not sure that resolving a bankruptcy resolved all the concerns of the people who are fundamentally underlying concerns about PG&E continuing to operate in its current form. Oh, and now comes the rate increases. Yes. Fox Rothschild. It's a new era for PG&E. Oh, yeah. They're going to move a few people around. Oh, yeah, it's a big chance to, The fires collectively led to more than 100 deaths and burned over hundreds of thousands of acres. Estimate that its liabilities could amount to about $30 billion, not just 5.4. Now PG&E has resolved those liabilities with a $25.5 billion payout. It's set up as a trust worth around $13.5 billion to compensate victims of the fires, funded by a $5.4 billion payout last week. Well, okay, $25 billion might cover the damage to the property, but the lives of all these people, and I believe a lot more people lived in Paradise than we know. Paradise, California had 26,000 people registered. After the fire, there was nobody there. And the strange thing is all the relief agencies around there had nobody visiting, saying, oh yeah, I have no home. It's like they all burned to death. That's just my take. Okay, I hope I'm not missing a few links here. Every time Donald and Ghislaine gathered, okay. So this is a big problem. The 5G is not going to go away. So I have a plan to actually make it better, safer. And I call it the 5G Plus system, which veritably could save the world a lot of hassles if we just construct some very nice Faraday shields over these things. Faraday shields were developed by Michael Faraday, and they cover up field radiation. They prevent it from getting outside a certain sphere of electricity. So building these things should be very straightforward and easy to do. You can build them with wood and metal, mostly aluminum screening material. But ideally, to make them last, we would want to make them out of welded aluminum struts or even steel with aluminum wiring over it for strength. Okay, here's a compilation of every time Ghislaine Maxwell and Donald Trump were photographed together. Okay, this should be interesting. They were very good friends. Now, Maxwell, of course, supposedly is under arrest, which we haven't confirmed because there's no mugshot of her at all. She could be in the Ritz-Carlton, not even, blink an eye. Oh, how's my trial going? Well, Ghislaine, you're still in prison, and the ladies there are not, attacking you. Oh, wonderful. Could I get some more room service, please? Thank you. Here's every time Donald Trump and Ghislaine Maxwell have been photographed. Here we go. And we're off and running. That's it. Oh, another one. Yeah, nice. Donald looks a little bit miffed there. She looks smart and bright and ready to start learning how to fly a helicopter or possibly pilot a submarine. You heard that Jeffrey Epstein bought her a $4 million submarine when she got her license. Why would they need a submarine when they're living on an island? You think maybe they might have an underground tunnel? You think? There they are. Melania, Trump, Ghislaine, Jeffrey. Everything's beautiful in Palm Beach. Oh, yeah. There's Melania and Ghislaine. And, yeah. Looks like he's cautiously optimistic. I don't think he ever really got too close to Ghislaine. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Donald never had sex with Ghislaine. Okay? Yes, not just a particular frequency, a lot of frequencies. Michael Faraday developed this to deal with all kinds of field radiation. You should get more information and get back to me. PG&E guilty of 6 felony charges in the San Bruno pipeline. Yeah, Fox Rothschild. There you go. More on PG&E. Okay, now you're overdoing the PG&E. Yeah, I know they face an uncertain future because the Rothschilds want to raise the price of all of the costs. We had an outage today, Whidbey Telecom, and Internet outage Point Roberts. Okay, that may explain why we were having problems getting on the internet tonight. It's been resolved. The connectivity has been restored and voice and internet services are stable. A fiber tunnel has been cut, severing the cables for multiple providers across a widespread... Oh, I don't believe that. That's bull crap, and they know it. How in the hell are they going to fix a severed cable underwater in such a short time? Is this a joke? Give me a break. I don't believe that. They just probably... The Chinese probably hacked the terminal. They probably have an underwater rape base, Final Dream suggests. You're right. They may have an underwater rape base with a submarine where they're trafficking children in, and elitists that want to have their way with the children. Right. Because they're going to use the children anyway for what? Adrenochrome, where they're going to use that to feel younger. You see, the people with all the money in the world, they don't know what to do with all their money. They just keep getting money, and they control the monetary system. The Rothschilds are the owners of the Federal Reserve, in case you didn't know. They control so much, and so they really don't need to worry about money. They control the printing press. Yeah. So I would recommend that many of you just relax, choose a third party in the upcoming election, write my name in. And I think the best way for me to get you on the way toward writing my name in is to give you my name. Right.
At the dawn of the 20.
Okay, we'll get those great links. Just a second. So needless to say, let's investigate. Oh, by the way, I am David Sponheim. S as in Sam, P as in Peter, O-N-H-E-I-M. As in Mary, like Anaheim. Yeah, it's kind of a German name. So investigating Wayfair is another layer that we have to look at. Trying to get my name up there here. It eluded me. Amazing all the different things I've got going on here. They have ships that repair those cables in a short period of time. I don't believe that. I just, nah. You're just assuming that they do. An underwater cable like that can't be fixed in a short period of time. Come on. Yeah, the Glomar Explorer could be brought in. So yeah, Donald and Joe Biden will not be investigating Wayfair. So if you're concerned about human trafficking of children, alleging that Wayfair may be involved, simply alleging, then you want to get a third-party candidate to the front row. I will be looking into the deep state and how Ellen DeGeneres seems to look just like John D. Rockefeller. Yeah, we're trying to figure that out. We don't know why. I still can't quite understand why she looks so much like him. Maybe she's a relative. I don't know. Well, Dave, I'm just a handler for the Rothschild family, and I handle most of the entertainment side. I handle most of the entertainment, like when we interviewed Jose Campos, the alleged only witness to the Mandalay Bay shooting. I'm the only person that ever interviewed him, yeah. But she's losing her sensibility of where she is. So we have a feeling that these people are like, I don't know, working with the dark force of evil. This guy killed 100 million people in 1918 with bad vaccinations. So if you trust vaccinations, you may want to rethink that. What we have to worry about is a president who's clearly on drugs. Let's not mince words here. This guy is clearly got huge eye pupils. His eyes are dilated. He's clearly drugged out of his mind. And who else would have shut down our economy? They told me to shut it down, so I shut it down. You've entered the Sponheim zone. You're traveling through another dimension. A dimension of both sight and sound, of both things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the wondrous world of David's humor. I don't know. He looks. They say he doesn't smoke pot, but you got to wonder what could make that look. The look of buzzed is in his eyes tonight. The look of buzzed. Okay, tonight we got a couple videos that look really good. Amazing Polly. I may not like the fact that she loves Trump, but I like her research, and I'll be listening to Your Body is Their Weapon. I listened to parts of it last night, actually. I tuned in on it, and I agree with her. So as long as we agree about the problem, we're okay. But she thinks that Trump is the solution, and I'm sorry, but you QAnoners, if you're clinging to that belief after 3 years of Trump not doing a damn thing, you got some serious critical thinking issues to deal with. Even though I like her research, she better think through this, because Trump's not going to do anything. A beachgoer is arrested for walking on an empty... your internet's been iffy?
When you say arrested, do you mean you were actually cuffed and put it...
You're feeling kind of... Your internet's kind of iffy too, huh, Ron? Okay. Let's move on here. The Republicans don't like the defund thing. They think that's stupid. America's will be without good policing if we defund. Well, I got news for you. I don't know of any other method to get these city governments to think about stop killing people. They're literally killing people unnecessarily, left and right. Okay, you got American Idiocracy. Okay. All right, we're going to take a sampling of some of the videos we're going to be playing tonight just to get that out of the way, so we'll know what we're looking at. A beachgoer arrested for walking on an empty lake at Ontario Beach will be interviewed by a guy on the street.
in a police cruiser?
Correct. I was handcuffed.
We're walking on a beach?
I was handcuffed. My belongings were taken, and I was held in a jail cell for about an hour and a half until I could speak with duty counsel.
Rebel News. We'll bring that to you tonight. American Idiocracy, the Slave Labor USA 2020 Agenda by A Plain Truth. That'll be good.
For a century, the Army began a top-secret experiment.
Meet Joe Bowers, our first subject for the human hibernation experiment.
Okay, that's Idiocracy. And it's a pretty good movie, by the way, if you haven't seen it. And this is his take on it.
10-year yield spikes. It's breaking out. You see this level right here. Once it breaks out from there, prices go down, rates go up. You need to know about how bonds work. So when you see prices going down, people selling.
Okay, so today, that reminds me, the Dow Jones took a drop. I was watching it midstream, and it was down 350 points. It's down 353 points. There it is. The Dow Jones took a big drop from the 27,000 mark down to 26,652, a drop of 353 points. So yeah, we're seeing big tanks in the stock market, and what's happening is people are really kind of worried that Donald Trump never should have shut the economy down. I don't know how many people are still clinging to the belief that he did the right thing, or he should have done this earlier. That's absurd. You never shut down an economy when there's no reason to. I'll take a look at their manifest, this ship that can repair underwater cables as fast as you claim. Huh. Okay, thank you. Is the Bureau of Land Management charge management? Really? Okay. Whatever you're talking about, I don't understand it, but that's nice. Oh, and then one on NASA. We'll be talking about NASA tonight. The NASA moon landing hoax is 24 minutes. Oh, this is good. Somebody put a compilation together. That's great. I can't wait to see it.
Apollo moon landings, the 1976 Viking, and other subsequent Mars landings.
All right. A different take. Did we go to the moon? Well, I'd like to show you a videotape of it, but the NASA itself lost the videotape of the moon landing. So, and a news that Taylor Swift has released a brand new album. Now, you probably all know that Taylor Swift is fighting an ongoing legal battle with Scooter Braun, and I guess George Soros bought some of her rights too. In no way did she ever release these rights to these people, but they took them anyway. So now, in her defense, Taylor Swift is getting even better, and she's producing more music than ever before. And I've noticed this about her. Her music actually is getting a lot more interesting. Yeah. I used to think, she's kind of a country voice. Then she got involved with these bikers, and then she had John Mayer as a boyfriend. Yeah, John Mayer rather. Yeah, it's just like that must have been traumatic. Well, why are they showing fake astronauts? Because they wanted to make you think that we landed on the moon. Duh. Jeez. We're going to be looking at the whole video tonight, but I doubt you'll be swaying from your belief that we landed on the moon. With NASA not even having the video footage, and they had to comprise all the footage of NBC, ABC, and CBS just to get the short clips we have today, don't you think that's a little suspicious? You think? Anyway, this will be good. Taylor Swift Cardigan official music video. I can't wait to hear it. That'll be fun. Yeah, thank you. We need to hear this stuff. We have the right to know.
There will soon be a new vaccine for the coronavirus pandemic.
No, there won't. Heated vaccine debate, Kennedy Jr. versus Dershowitz. Well, I'll take it, but I don't even see how we'd even have a debate about vaccines. The virus is mutating. The RNA messenger unit of the virus is mutating. There's no way you could ever have herd immunity or a vaccine. It's preposterous. But I'll put that in the lineup. Thank you. I can't say I like listening to either Dershowitz or Bobby Kennedy Jr. because his voice is screwed up. It'd be like listening to a broken record in reverse talking about nothing. But I know that Robert Kennedy Jr. literally brought this entire story to our forefront, so I have to thank him for that. Dershowitz is just, he's the New World Order lawyer. Oh, in the video they've got lots of footage, but no, the NASA never had original footage. Look it up. They lost it. They lost all of their original footage. NASA did. It's a known fact. Cal Worthington has just been muted again for using a bad word. So Kennedy destroys Dershowitz. Good. His voice is painful to listen to, but he's totally honest. Okay, good. It's all document. Yeah. I know. Well, we're going to play that violent video Final Dream sent me the other night. I have it in the queue. I wasn't going to play it until later, but this gentleman is not violent, though. This man believes that Black Lives Matter is not representing what's really going on. Now, we have that video for you tonight as well. It's pretty good. He's going to contest the man closest to me, claiming that Black Lives Matter is not dealing with the real issue of black-on-black violence. That's the real issue. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, Dershowitz claimed he took his family and his daughter to Epstein Island because they wanted to have a fun time. Well, Disney Cruise Line used to land at Epstein's Little St. James Island. It was one of their stop points. People could bring their kids to Little Epstein's Island, yeah. I don't know how safe those kids were. I would love to look back and analyze the manifest to see if everyone got home okay. You got to wonder. Okay, 153 News has something about data collection. I'm going to assume it's COVID testing. Okay. The video that you have, Final Dream, is social mainstream media tells you Antifa is peaceful. Watch this video and share.
But yeah, I do have all these people like him. Because we're fucking done with people like you. I have an opinion.
Oh yeah, they're real peaceful. I'll be playing 10 minutes of violence tonight. Yeah, Antifa's real peaceful. Oh yeah. We've seen so many instances where they break out into physical violence on a daily basis. It's not even funny. Antifa is being paid for by George Soros. There's no doubt about it. In almost every instance, we run into these people saying George Soros is going to pay them, and they even ask about it in unison in large groups of people, begging for support. We got another one from last night, Plain Truth. No negative reporting allowed. Positive tests everywhere. They want everyone to be positive.
One America's Pearson Sharp has more as hospitals admit their data is flawed.
With the mainstream media sensationalizing coronavirus cases across the U.S., other reports are pouring in that hospitals are intentionally inflating their numbers of COVID-19 patients. An investigation of hospitals in Florida reveals health authorities were misreporting the number of positive patients all over the state. Hospitals were reporting a 100% positivity rate in infections, and numerous labs claimed every single patient that came in was testing positive for coronavirus. On Friday alone, 98 different labs reported 100% positivity rates, and experts say that's very concerning and means the results are likely inaccurate and cannot be trusted.
You think? Yeah, exactly. So this story really is the central story for the week, is that our science is not being applied. Experts who come up with the truth about COVID are fired. They literally are taken out. One Florida woman spent 1,000 hours working on programming so that COVID stats would be accurate. It was too accurate. She was fired. They wanted results that were 100% positive. They weren't coming up with 100% positive. Technically, about 9% of the people that test out that have symptoms that go in test positive. You could have a cold. You could have H1N1, a simple flu. Here's the Antifa-crats begging for more Soros money. I hope they don't monetize that. Yeah, I hope they don't monetize that. I mean, if I play that too often, they might try to make money on the site. You know, that's our song. You can't take that away. All right, so you're concerned about the possibility of, got a great piece tonight. Again, I'm going to do the COVID scam. I read it out loud, but this guy reads it out loud. It's really good. And we've got Quebec mandatory mask rule, man assaulted by police, pandemic lockdown. So we've got a few things we didn't play last night inadvertently, but we'll be playing tonight. All right. And of course, we'll do the last half of this wonderful documentary with Dr. Catherine Horton, Oxford particle physicist, who says that the entire 5G network could be used as a weapon. And it could be targeting individuals who are dissidents. It's exactly the death ray that was prophesied by Nikola Tesla 110 years ago. So yeah, we've got that for the reality that we're living with. The possible weaponization of something greater than your 9mm or whatever the heck you've got in your backyard. And then this story. Ipsos Mori WTF. Okay, this is a short video. Let's take a look. Oh, here they are. They're already doing winter preparedness for COVID-19. Let's get a good picture of this. Ipsos Mori research highlights. July, the year of the boiled frog. Look at this. Perceptions of lockdown timings, too fast, too slow, or about right. Sexual orientation of LGBT, Ipsos Mori response to coronavirus pandemic. Wow. We are passionate and curious about society. Game changers, our tagline, summarizes our ambition. We provide true understanding and make our changing world easier to navigate. Game changers. These people are the ones designing this attack on our society. Oh my gosh, you found the source. Let's look at what the meaning of Ipsos Mori is. They die. Wow. You have discovered unbelievable insight into this problem. Man, thank you, Scissor Fight. Wow, look at that, everybody. He found a website that actually says they die, and it talks about their plans to implement COVID. They're doing it right in front of our face, right in our eyes. Pass this torch around. You guys, check this out. This is from Scissor Fight. This will freak you out. Thank you, Scissor Fight. Wow. Robin Lynn says, use the Periscope link. You can chat here, and it's mobile friendly. Oh, yeah. Good point. Periscope is the best way, Robin. Good point. We have been shadow banned over Periscope for some time. So, yeah. Thank you. We are always looking for new chatters, though, at Periscope. Yeah, I do. Here's the link. That's shocking, isn't it? Yeah, that's just weird. Okay. People are reporting freezer sections taped. What? They're making it so you can't even buy freezer food because it's non-essential? Oh, come on. Really? Oh, this is too weird, folks. Yeah, it's like they're purposely shutting our country down right now. Spread the word. In fact, we won't have much time to spread any word. Man, that's crazy. Well, America's Third Party's been doing this since 2008. I even started before then. Yes. We've been doing this process to awaken the American people for some time. And as your presidential candidate, David Sponheim, you can write my name in on any ballot, but there are ballot access laws that we may not apply to. And in the process, we're going to go for equal protection under the law. There's no reason why any one state would keep me from becoming a write-in candidate in their state. So the word has to spread that David Sponheim should be elected. Otherwise, we're going to be wondering what to do, because Biden is not the answer. Trump is not the answer. I clearly have better ideas than both of them combined. And since Trump has taken my ideas, now Biden has taken my idea on the basic health insurance plan of, we call it the opt-in non-mandatory plan. It's basically a public option. In 2008, Obama was talking about. In 2008, I was talking about it. So in a way, Biden could say he took Obama's idea, but Obama never acted on the public option. I put a price tag on it of $60 a month, and now Biden is using that price tag as his number. So he copied the number I'm offering for everybody for a basic healthcare plan, public option, non-mandatory, but it would provide full healthcare, dental included, basic dental. But that's something that I'm not going to even worry about that. I don't even care if Biden takes my ideas. I want these ideas to come to fruition. Just like I wanted a 1,000-mile fence to come to fruition, we are still waiting for 133 miles of a slat fence that anybody can slip kilos of heroin through. So bear in mind, there's a lot of things that just aren't making sense. I got some stuff here to look at. Let's look at it together as we close in. Sealed Walmarts in Portland, Oregon, folks. Look at this. It's like they're holding onto their food. They're afraid of what could happen. Wow. This is crazy. Sealed Walmarts in Portland, Oregon. Unbelievable. Wow. Non-essential food? Really? Well, yeah, people copy me, but the fact is I'm really here to promote solutions for our society. I don't even care if they copy me. There was a time when I thought it was a big deal, but not anymore. They always screw it up. Yeah, they never implement my ideas properly. These ideas were designed to be implemented by me, not Donald Trump or Joe Biden. But bear in mind, I'm not going to stop because my ideas are irrelevant. I'm not going to stop at all. That's my point. The ideas live on, I live on. Okay, now we've got the links brought to us by Insane Canadian, which I haven't played because I was kind of interrupted by an attack on our server, which supposedly is a cut line. Exactly how in the world did they cut a line underwater in the Strait of Juan de Fuca? I don't believe it. So some shark was gnawing on the line? Is that what happened? The cable line broke? I don't know. Want to know why Antifa carry umbrellas? Watch this. There's graphic violence and language here. Seattle police. Huh. Oh, so you can't see Antifa. They cover all the monitors. That's of course. Yeah. This is the West Precinct facility camera in Seattle when the precinct was attacked. Look at that. Yeah, you can't really see much of anything with that umbrella. Can't stoop. Won't stop, son. This is when the station was taken over in Seattle. Wow. Remember that, Robin Lynn? That's amazing. All right. Hi, Super Dave. Man, this is crazy. Well, that situation is under control up to a point, but it shows you that the city of Seattle handed the keys over to Raz, who happens to be a gun runner for Dubai and the Muslim Brotherhood. So, yeah, it is crazy. We connected the dots, Robin, to... we pulled up some pretty powerful links. Let me show you a couple. I'll give you links to them. You want to read this Knitter bio? Check this out. This talks about Raz Simona. And check out this Knitter bio, too. Excuse me. You probably know about the Wayfair problem, I'm sure. But is Solomon Simone it owns this Aurora Smoke Shop. It's actually just it's a way to make money, of course, but he's also got a deal with the Seattle government that he makes $82,000 a year off of a B&B, somehow connected to his establishment, his smoke shop. But there's another aspect of Raz that's in that Knitter feed that talks about, and I'll give it to you guys over here. Check it out. Thank you, Misanthropy, for getting this originally. Yeah, check out this link, too. That is a wild link, isn't it? Rod Helton's going, wow. You know that link Scissor Fight had of their big plan, they die? I know. We are under attack, folks. This is not some minor deal where you're going to snake out of it if you vote Democrat or Republican. We're screwed if we stay in our two-party mindset and our mold. We really are. I've been saying that all along, and I've risked my life doing this. I got to tell you, I get death threats every day. I literally am fully prepared for whatever comes my way. I'm ready. But I can tell you it's sick that they want to stop me because I'm the best shot this country has of staying afloat. I'd like to say I'm ashamed to live in Washington, but I love the state itself. I love the earth. I fell in love with Washington when I was a kid. I love the nature. I hate the jets. I live under the jets that they picked up the jet totals 20, 30 times more than they were flying over my head when I first moved here. So now we get 30 flyovers, whereas I only got 1 or 2 every week. It was almost hardly at all. Now it's 30 times a day. Plus our groundwater is being contaminated with flame retardants they're using on the jets. And the Democrats, Republicans aren't going to break that contract that the military has with a flame retardant company. Oh, they like poisoning water more than anything. They don't even care. They won't stop using flame retardant, even though it's a carcinogenic. 1 part per million will cause cancer to grow. And they've got like 27 parts per million in the cleanest water they can make. In one area near the jet path, they have 400 parts per million jet fleet. It's PFAS, it's called. It's a flame retardant. I agree with Robin on this one. The Operation Jade Helm is still in full effect. It started in 2015. But, you know, prior to Jade Helm, we had Jade 2.0 computer system, which is a highly developed military AI system, which very likely is the source of what we're experiencing today. And I know this sounds really weird, folks, but some of our people in our government are so, they're yes men. They're simply yes men. They don't question anything, and if they get something sent to them on a memo, they believe it, and they'll go forward. It's very possible that when Donald Trump said to the American people, oh, this is a live exercise, they should have told me. They should have told me. And Mike Pompeo was saying this is a live exercise right in front of him. We have proof of that video. And Donald Trump said, oh, they should have told me. No. He's being told he's in a live exercise. He's being told he has to do this. Trump is that stupid that he's just going along with whatever he's told. I'm serious. What do you mean by prime black water or black helicopter country? What do you mean? They have helicopters on the island that are used for military intelligence. What do you mean black helicopter? We're surrounded by people like that here. There's 6 different police agencies on the island, CIA included. Wow. Okay. All right, guys. Okay. Yeah, thanks. Okay, thank you for that. All right. Well, we know that Chet Kelly's been posing. How he remained in the room all these years, it's hard to say. Yeah, we'll have to take care of that right now. Thank you for the information. Okay, hang on. We're enlarging our ban list. I don't do this in my after hours. It takes up too much time. Yeah, it was a tough day, you know, with the whole takedown of the internet and everything. I literally have to drive to town to do the show. Okay. I think we're good. We're going to leave Cranky in the show. You're the only one that survived that attack. Well, Cranky, the fact is, the people of Whidbey Island are a special group of people. They're willing to put up with jet noise of 120 decibels to protect our country. You know, I've got a woman who works the recycling bin, and she's an older woman, and I talk to her occasionally. I said, doesn't this bother you? Because the jets literally get 20 feet away. It's just unbelievable. I've been out there putting my recycling away, and the jet will literally fly over, right over the thing. It's like, whoa. It must be maybe 50 feet above the area, and it's just massive, and it's so loud. And I said, doesn't it bother you? And she said, nope, we got to fight the Russians. Because it causes heart disease, it causes strokes, it causes capillaries in your liver to burst. Apparently the chemtrails have done down my neighbors, I know, but she really believes, but I'm telling you, she believes that we've got to stay strong against the Russians. And as much as I'd like to say she's wrong, I do know that the Russians are really out to get us, and Donald Trump is pretty much working for Vladimir Putin, so they're not really after our jets, they're after our government. So in a way, I see her point. Can she still hear you? Yeah, she reads lips now. Oh, her hearing is gone. Yeah, she's fried. She can't. She's an epileptic now. Her whole brain is fried. Hey, Trevor says Tom Hanks is a Satanist? Really? I didn't know. All I know is he posts all these weird pictures of alone shoes next to the identification markers for missing children. That's got to be a little weird. Who would make an entire Twitter account like that? He did. Well, I wouldn't discount the fact that, anything's possible. Anyway, here's the smoke shop that Solomon Simone, or A.K. Raz, has. He makes a lot of money. It's not like he's hurting for money, and he's a definite gun runner for Dubai and a key member in the Black Lives Matter group. So are we going to let terrorist organizations live in our country and Biden endorse them like they're the big thing we want to fight for, stopping hate crimes? No, I'm sorry. People are allowed to say words. Like if somebody walked up and said, "Hey, Whitey, y'all are racist." I could claim that's a hate crime. I could, theoretically. But I'm not gonna. And I protect your right to call me Whitey and a racist, even though I'm not. I just don't believe you should tell anybody else they can't call you something. All right. Okay, that's down. I'm not going to talk about Wayfair Gate tonight. It's just too much TMI. We got another one from Insane Canadian that she brought earlier. BLM protesters block highway in Colorado. Some men go to confront them and get beaten. Wow. No kidding. Wow. So the BLM protesters blocked the highway. Some guys walked up to them and get beaten up. Oh yeah, they're really a nice group. They're trying to get racial harmony going. Sure. If you believe that, you're an idiot. Or perhaps a white girl trying to have her first black experience. I don't know. You poor parents, I feel bad for you. Yeah, buddy. Wow. It's a full-on fight. Yeah, this is serious. They're going for it. White against blacks. Look at this. This is crazy. Oh my God. They're really beating him up. Oh, police arrived. Is that a police car? That's not a police car. That's a guy with a fake police car. That's a real police car. Well, you saw it right there. Direct conflict with Black Lives Matter blocking a highway and getting physically violent with the white guy. Yeah, it's unmarked. Okay. So in other words, it could be one of Donald Trump's Gestapo agents that he's training. Okay. I keep mixing those two names up, Adolf Hitler and Donald Trump. Sorry. Follow the money, public school. Yeah, we got a big one tonight. That'll be good. Let's see. Insane woman pulls up next to a car and freaks because vehicle didn't socially distance. This is a crazy Karen situation.
Why? I mean it.
Why?
Right?
Why? Why are you going to call the police?
You're supposed to keep 2 meters apart because the virus is going on at the moment.
I'm in a car.
Doesn't matter.
I'm in a car.
Doesn't matter.
What are you
You
on
haven't
about?
got my problem, okay?
I'm in a car.
Okay, so he's in a car and he's not social distancing far enough. You know, when I was in the parking lot today, there were women that were like 3 feet away from me talking a mile a minute with their masks on. Yeah, it was like very dangerous. No one coughed though. And by the way, I wanted to ask everybody, I've been asking everybody in the room, I wanted to ask everybody, have any of you seen anyone coughing with a mask on? Press 1. Like full on. Anybody? At all? Anywhere in the known universe? You have? Really? Cuban Link says 1. Okay. Thank you, Cuban Linked. Not anyone over at D Live, no. I wasn't coughing with a mask on, dude. No. Has anyone seen anyone coughing with a mask on? Trevor says you have? Really? Okay. Yeah, every cough is an incurable disease. So technically, out of the 2 people that claim they saw someone, you did? Okay, 3 people in 3 rooms. You ran away so fast that I was wearing Crocs, so I couldn't go that fast. So you were stumbling on your Crocs? Really? Okay, Cuban Linked. Okay, so in our 4 rooms, 1 person in each room, on average, said they saw somebody. So not a lot of people are seeing people coughing. It's just a symptom of a disease. For one, coughing tends to be a disease. You sneezed on your mask, you had to throw it away. Well, if somebody sneezed on your mask, you're in danger. But even people in Arizona still don't see people with masks on coughing. So we have to assume the people that are sick, coughing with a dry cough, are inside their house. So we can assume that. I don't mind assuming that. But we are assuming that, right? Trevor says his Uber driver farted. That's not good. So you were smelling his COVID fart while you were in your Uber car. Well, I kind of wanted to wrap things up with that. Let's just listen to this woman again. She's just over the top.
Why? I mean it.
Why?
Right?
Why? Why are you going to call the police?
You're supposed to keep 2 metres apart because the virus is going on at the moment.
I'm in a car.
Doesn't matter.
I'm in a car.
Doesn't matter.
What are you
You
on
haven't
about?
got my problem, okay?
I'm in a car.
So go.
How am I meant to make you keep 2
before
meters
I
in a car?
get my phone out and call the police.
What are you on about?
Go on.
Unreal. She's calling the police on somebody who's parked next to her. What a nightmare. You UK people have it really tough. Oh, I know you're rolling out the anti everything. Anybody not social distancing gets arrested. You people are all of you English-based, City of London-based countries are rolling out the COVID nightmare faster than America is, and I got to tell you, we're going to put the brakes on it in 2020. I really believe that I could be president in 2020. I do. Word can get out fast, especially when people know their ass is on the line right now. Yeah, even the people that are DDoSing our show are lightening up a little bit, knowing full well that, see, we got 36 viewers over there right now, knowing full well that their lives could be taken out with a dangerous weaponized 5G system. Now, we're going to listen to an hour of this tonight at the end of the evening from 12 to 1 if you want to tune in. But this particle physicist believes that the 5G is a directed energy weapon designed for controlling our population and getting rid of dissidents. Anyone who doesn't have a good social credit score or is a ne'er-do-well will be eliminated. And Scissorfight uncovered this weird site that is called They Die in another language, dedicated to the COVID nightmare and how they're implementing it like it's a private blog of elitists. You find some of the best sites out there, Scissorfight. It's amazing you found that. Truly. Fantastic work. But this woman, Catherine Horton, is a PhD from Oxford University, and she is the reigning expert on the subject. She's concerned. So because our government won't engage in 5G testing for safety, and the Republicans and Democrats won't even raise the issue with Biden, or with Trump and Biden, this is now a big issue we have to take on. You see, America's Third Party takes on all the key issues the other two parties don't take on, and we unite the people under the banner of our Bill of Rights. And I'm also the person who came up with the idea of defunding the police unless they engage in sensitivity training. So you're getting the whole package with America's Third Party. There's no reason why you'd vote out of this centrist party. And this is a great way to unite the country, because I will never take away your rights to First Amendment freely speak, like the Democrats are trying to with hate crime laws or hate speech laws. The Second Amendment, I will never touch that either. We will not ask for verification. I backed off of all those points that I had at one point. No way. I'm not going to turn a divisive thing like the Second Amendment into an area where we're going to divide the country. So I agree with you people on the right, and I'm more concerned than Republicans because they don't even talk about the 5G network being a deadly death ray. which could veritably make your gun meaningless. One little hit of a button and you're dust. They'll fry your lungs and you'll be, oh yeah, you had a heart attack. Okay, next, cart them away. Seriously. So we will defend, and most of all, I want all of you to remember that I will not, in any way, force vaccinate the American people. I will never do that. I will never force vaccinate any of you. If we'll have options of vaccinations for people who are in vaccine therapy, there's even some promise that vaccine therapy may help with cancer. But there's no promise that a standard vaccine is safe. So we won't be doing that. As your president, I will never do that to you. And I will urge you to look deeper into the problem, and we'll look into the dangers of H.R. 666, a plan by the House committees right now. Right now it's H.R. 666 is putting together a COVID testing plan that could veritably put us all in jail if we don't agree to it, which is a violation of the Nuremberg Code and all kinds of rights, including our Constitution. And this product called luciferase, that needs to be investigated. That's something that they're trying to slip into the vaccines. This is insane. And on top of that, I showed you the horror story that we're seeing right now with COVID-19 vehicles. They're going to be designed for COVID testing, rolling out with the look at this thing on the side panel. Look at that. It's Baphomet, the evil Luciferian creature that these evil people worship. Look at this. Tell me this isn't the weirdest thing you've ever seen. The COVID-19 trucks are being retrofitted with Baphomet on the side. They literally are worshiping Satan, and they're going after everything they can. Look at that. They've got the image of Lucifer on the cover of every truck. I mean, this couldn't get more messed up if we tried. Now, I don't expect you people to all be religious or believe in God. I know even atheists believe that evil exists in the hearts of men. I know that. So I'm not asking you to believe in some higher spiritual being to save you, like the Jehovah's Witnesses are believing right now, that, oh, this will all pass, we'll be born again in heaven. Huh? No, we need to fix this now, because these Luciferians are trying to destroy our world. Whether you're atheist or believer in God, it doesn't matter anymore. They literally want to kill you. All right, on that note, on a brighter note, let's have some fun, watch some movies, enjoy yourself. It's always a great pleasure to have you. I'm not a Freemason. I will never join the Masons. I'm not part of the Illuminati. I'm never going to be part of that. I'm not a joiner. I don't like those kind of people. I don't care if you like me or you don't like me, but we got people like this woman who just wants to be liked. She's dangerous. She's dangerous. She could bring down Chicago. And then Trump could bring down Chicago with his Gestapo force. I mean, this is crazy. So no, I'm not like those other people. I'm not buyable. I'm the unbuyable politician. All right, see you guys later. I'm going to be signing off tonight. If you ever want to go ahead and check our Cool Rock site out, feel free to go to coolrock.com to get information and our daily show times, and you can watch our show there too. All right, thank you. Mr. Wright signing off.
You make me melt away. Cause you make me melt away. My miss right, too good to be true.